Hey guys, this video is for our kindergarten and first grade team for October week 3. And the title of this week's lesson is Break On Through. And so this is when, the first week we heard about Moses being born and that his mom had courage to do what she should, even when she didn't know what was going to happen next. Then last week, God talked to Moses through the burning bush. And he went to Egypt to tell Pharaoh to let the Israelite people go, and Pharaoh said no, so God brought the 10 plagues to Egypt, and eventually Pharaoh let all the Israelite slaves go. And last week, our bottom line is you could do what you should even when you don't feel ready. Well, this week now, the Israelites are fleeing Egypt from being slaves, and all of a sudden Pharaoh says, what the heck did I just do? I did not want to let them go. Let's go get them. So the Egyptian army comes after the Israelite slaves, and Moses ends up parting the Red Sea, and Israel goes through the Red Sea. And our bottom line for this week is you can do what you should even when things seem impossible, because it certainly seemed impossible for Moses and the whole millions of Israelites to go through the Red Sea, but God can do the impossible. So all month long, we've been talking about courage, being brave enough to do what you should even when you're afraid. And our memory verse for the whole month is, be strong and brave. Do not be afraid. Do not lose hope. I am the Lord your God. I will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. So jumping into our leader guide for the week, we'd love for you to join us at 8:20 and 10:20 in the garage door room to pray and have coffee and donuts and really just gather together as a community of people who serve in Oak Bridge Kids. And then we definitely need you to be in your small group area by 8:30 and 10:30 so that you make sure you've got everything ready to go. Then pre-service, I know your kids are kind of playing games. One thing you can challenge them to do is you'll just have like 25 random puzzle pieces. You're not even going to have the whole puzzle. There's 100 pieces, so each group's going to get like 25 of them. And you're going to put these out and have the kids try to solve them. And the point of this exercise is that it is literally impossible. And as they're working, you can just kind of ask them, how was your week, guys? Did anything crazy or unexpected happen? Did anything happen that you weren't ready for? So if so, did you pray and did you ask God to remind you that he's with you? Just kind of getting kids' minds tracking about that God is always with us, but also thinking about something impossible. Putting that puzzle together. It's going to be impossible. So if you don't get to that and the kids are just playing, no worries. It's just kind of getting them to think like some things are impossible, and putting that puzzle together is going to be one of them. So then when service starts at 9 and 11, each kid is going to have a piece of cardstock, and you're going to have them place one of their feet on the cardstock and trace around their shoe with a pencil. So it will look like that. There's my shoe that hardly fits on the paper. And then you're going to have kids, it says to have kids use markers to write the bottom line, but I figured that would take a really long time for kindergarten preschool, so I just made labels with the bottom line that they can peel and stick on to their shoe. And then on the back, you're going to tell them to write or draw a picture of something that seems impossible. So they don't have to do it on the back. If they like put their sticker down here, they can just write or draw a picture of something that seems impossible on the rest of their shoe. So maybe telling the truth, being kind to someone who's not kind, learning to tie your shoe or ride a bike without training wheels. All those things might seem impossible, but they really aren't. So as they draw or write, ask kids what could help them in those situations. They could talk to God, they could ask for help, and then they can just decorate the rest of their footprint however they would choose. So to close this activity down, you're going to say, when Moses stood on the bank of the Red Sea, he told the Israelites to stand firm and to not be afraid. And he said those words before God parted the water and before anyone had set foot on that seabed. And I want you guys to take these footprints home and hang them somewhere as a reminder that you can do what you should even when things seem impossible. So you can keep loving, keep telling the truth, keep choosing kindness, keep helping, keep being patient, and God will help you do what seems impossible. It takes courage. So let's go see how Moses trusted God to do the impossible. So you're going to head down to the large group. We are watching a video this week, but we do have a live host. When you get back from large group, you're going to do a little activity called Four Corners Review. So what you're going to do is in the four corners of your area, you're going to have one card that says Pillar of Cloud, Pillar of Fire, Red Sea, and Wilderness. So if you've ever played Four Corners game, this is kind of like that. So those are going to be your four corners. You're going to divide your group into two teams, and you're going to have the Israelites and the Egyptians. And you're going to call everyone on both teams to stand in the middle. And then you're going to call out a team name and a corner for the team to run to. So between each round, have them return to the center of the small group area. So you're going to say, Israelites, go to the pillar of the cloud. Egyptians, go to the Red Sea. And you're just going to kind of go back and forth. And it says, play for several minutes, and then gather the signs to review today's Bible story. So you're going to just review it. So Pharaoh finally agreed to let the Israelites go, and God led the people through the wilderness toward the Red Sea, and he guided them with a pillar of cloud during the day and a pillar of fire at night. But then Pharaoh changed his mind, and he sent this huge army after the Israelites. And when the Israelites reached the Red Sea, they saw Pharaoh's army coming after him, and they were terrified. But Moses reminded them that God would fight for them. And then the pillar of cloud moved behind the Israelites, and Moses lifted his staff over the waters, and they parted so that the Israelites could walk through on dry ground. And then God jammed the wheels of the Egyptian chariots as they followed the Israelites into the seabed. And then Moses waved his staff back over the waters, and the Egyptians were washed away, and the Israelites were free. God had done the impossible. So talk about an impossible situation. The Israelites had the Red Sea in front of them and Pharaoh's army behind them, and it seemed as if there was no way out. But was this situation impossible for God? No. Moses told the Israelites, do not be afraid. Stand firm. You will see how the Lord will save you today. God was with them, and he had a plan, and God did what no one else could do. And he saved the Israelites. And guess what? You can trust God even when we face situations that require courage. So remember, our bottom line, you can do what you should even when things seem impossible. So then for the memory verse activity, review the memory verse. We've got motions: be strong and brave, do not be afraid, do not lose hope. I am the Lord your God. I will be with you wherever you go. Joshua 1:9. Count the number of kids in your group and then subtract 1. And we'll either use card stacks, or we've got some little round seat circles, so I might put those out too. If we run out, then we can just use cardstock. And then you are just going to play musical chairs. So you're going to say the memory verse, encourage the kids to say it with you, and they're going to be walking around the circle. And then as soon as you say Joshua 1:9, the kids are going to run and sit down on a piece of paper. Whoever doesn't get a piece of paper is out. Take one away, and then just keep playing. So have the kids say the verse with you, especially as you keep going. So you're just going to say, tell me, according to the verse, who is with us wherever we go? Yes, God is. He's with us at school, at home. He's with us when we play with our friends. God is with us everywhere we go, so we can have courage because we're never alone, especially when doing the right thing seems impossible. Remember, you can do what you should even when things seem impossible. You can remember that God is with you and that he can give you unlimited courage. So Linda, close down in prayer. Are you leaving?
Yeah.
You're fine.
Well,
I'll lock up.
Well, oh, you will?
Yeah.
Okay, then
I'm
I'll
fine.
tell April.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
No worries.
Then come back.
Yep.
Thank you.
So then you want to make sure that kids have their footprints again and have them take a look at the back where they've written down an impossible situation and then lead them in prayer, just asking God to give them the courage they need to face their impossible situations. So you just close down in prayer, reminding kids that they can do what they should even when things seem impossible. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for coming and just being the most amazing small group leaders. So thankful for all of you. This week is Oak Bridge Day / Crazy Hat Day or Crazy Hair Day. So feel free to wear a crazy hat or wear your hair crazy with the kids. And next week is a costume party. So if you want to come dressed in your Halloween costume next week, we'd love to have you. Thank you so much for leading, guys. You really do. You make such a difference. And I heard a story, one of our kindergarten kids, I know you kindergarten leaders have heard from Joellen and Lisa. And, sometimes I think we just forget that these kids at 5 years old are just going through some really, really tough stuff. And that church is just a place where we get to come and we get to tell them that God is for them and that they are not worthless and that they are made in his image and they are much loved. And so really what we do matters. And I'm so thankful for you guys, just that you come every week and you serve and that you are able to pour into these kids and tell them that. So thank you guys so much for being these leaders, and we'll see you on Sunday.